Hello, welcome to my Week 8 predictions for Week 8. So, let's get into it. Vikings, Chargers. Yeah, very tough game. This was a very tough game for me to predict. The Chargers should win, but the Vikings are coming off a bad loss. Carson Wentz and Isaiah Rodgers both wanted to get their... It was both their revenge game. Yeah, no. That didn't happen, fortunately. The Eagles ultimately won. Vikings, that's a bad loss. Vikings just look up and down. I don't know how they're going to look. They'll definitely beat the really bad teams, but I don't know if they'll beat any... If there's a team on their level or better, they're probably not going to win. The Chargers, I would say, are pretty much on their level. They have a bunch of injuries on that offensive line. And it's just a matter of, can they get the ball moving? Can they start running the ball better? If they ran the ball, if they can get the run game going early in this game, then the Chargers should win. However, I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. So we will see. The Chargers should win, and that is who I am picking. I'm picking the Chargers, but this is a really tough game because I don't know. Plus, I'm also 3-4 in predicting Thursday night football game. So if I get this wrong, I'll be 3-5. So I'm going with the Chargers. I think they're the better team here. I think ultimately just skill is going to pay off for this team. The Vikings, they're up and down. They're still trying to find their identity as a football team. And we're almost halfway through the year, which is not good, but they really are, especially with J.J. McCarthy getting hurt and it's being Carson Wentz. I don't know if Carson Wentz is playing or not, but we'll see what happens. The Chargers, they should win, but we'll see. But I have the Chargers winning. Now, next game, Dolphins, Falcons. The Falcons, they've got their coaching problems too. However, this Dolphins team needs, in my opinion, I'm tanking. This Dolphins team is making a strong argument for even being worse than the Jets. And that is, like, really bad. Like, the Jets have scored 6 points last week and scored 11 2 weeks ago. The Dolphins scored 6. The Browns scored 31. That's the problem. The Dolphins, and in theory with that game, the Dolphins should have won. The Browns have looked just not in these games. Maybe they might spark a late comeback, but it never works. Dillon Gabriel, has this team been given life with Dillon Gabriel a little bit more than Joe Flacco, but this Browns team still was awful, and the Dolphins team at least was making an argument for winning these games. They should have won, like the Panthers and the Chargers game, but they ultimately blew the lead. So they should have won. They should have beaten the Browns. They didn't. They got obliterated by the Browns on the road. That's a problem. I personally think that Tua needs to go, McDaniels needs to go, everyone who's bad needs to go, and everyone that's good needs to be traded to a team that actually can win them a Super Bowl. In my opinion, Tyreek Hill probably should go back to... Well, actually, no. Tyreek Hill shouldn't go back to Kansas City. He probably will, honestly, but he really shouldn't if we want to stop the Chiefs from continuing to be as good as they are. But still, I mean, this Dolphins team, they should start tanking it, in my opinion. The Falcons are also kind of a wishy-washy team. They look good against the Commanders. They look good against the Bills. They did not look good Sunday night against the 49ers. That's the problem. I don't know. They have shown up on some days. Are we going to get the Falcons that got shut out by the Panthers? Or are we going to see the Falcons that beat the Bills 34-24? I don't know. With how bad this Dolphins team is, the Falcons should win this game, and they will win this game, by far. This game is not going to be a contest. Dolphins are complete trash. They're a dumpster fire, just like the Titans and the Jets are. Their season is over. In my opinion, the Falcons, at least, maybe might be able to squeak into the playoffs. Falcons are going to want this one more. The Dolphins, their season is done. Falcons win easily. Now, next game it's the Bears against the Ravens. If this Ravens team goes 1-6 like I am predicting, then in my opinion, if I'm Baltimore, tank as well. This is the Ravens' last ditch effort to win. To maybe have a case, maybe make the playoffs, maybe squeak in there. This is their last effort. It has to start right here at home against the Bears. Now on the flip side, the Bears have won 4 straight. Now I have the Bears to win this game just because of how each team has looked. The Ravens have looked awful. The Bears have looked really good. So, especially that defense. The offense has not been able to get the ball moving. Is Lamar Jackson coming back? I don't know. We will see. This Ravens team is all over the place. They're coming off a bye. Like, this is the making for the Ravens to have a good game and maybe win. But I think the Bears are just too good right now. The Bears have won 4 straight. They're looking really hot. They're getting hot. I think the Bears honestly will win this game. I think the Ravens will keep it somewhat close. I don't actually remember the score I had for this game, but the Bears, I think they'll win this game. And if the Ravens lose, then yeah, they need to start tanking as well. Now, next game, Bills-Panthers. Like I said in my power rankings video, if the Bills underestimate the Panthers, Panthers are winning this game without a doubt. That is, in my opinion, how the Panthers are sitting here 4-3 right now. It's creeped up in people like, oh, the Panthers, they're not that. The Panthers are one of the worst teams in the league. That'll be an easy game. They're not. This is not a bad Panthers team anymore. This is now a mediocre to maybe squeaking into the playoffs Panthers team. This Panthers team has not had a winning record since 2021. I don't remember the last time they had a winning season, probably like 2015 when they went to the Super Bowl. Well, no, I know they made the playoffs in 2017. So, like, somewhere in there, that's probably the last time they had a winning season. If they continue to sneak under the radar and no one prepares for them, then yeah, they'll continue to win games. However, the Bills are coming off a bye. That's number one. They're coming off 2 straight losses. They're not going to allow a 3rd straight. They know they have to win this game for them if they want to continue to... If they want to even compete in their division, because they got the Patriots who are beginning to run away with the division. So, and they already have a loss to the Patriots. So if the Bills lose this game, and the Patriots win, then yeah, that's pretty much, it's like a game and a half at this point, with New England pretty much holding the tiebreaker, unless the Bills obviously win in the next game. But I mean, Panthers, like I said, if the Bills just look sloppy and the Panthers get going fast, very quickly, then this Panthers team is going to win. But if this team is somewhat close, is pretty close, pretty neck and neck for the majority of the game, then the Bills probably are going to start running away with it, and they're going to win this game. But if Panthers can get going quickly, it's going to be lights out for Buffalo, and Carolina's going to win. I mean, that's what Atlanta did to Buffalo, and yeah, we saw what happened there. So yeah, but I have ultimately, I think the Bills need this one more. They're going to want this one more. Panthers are more or less a spoiler team, I think. They're not a playoff team yet. They might be in a year or two if they keep building off what they have right now, especially behind Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard, Bryce. Another issue, Bryce Young. He's out. It looks like he's going to be out for this game. We'll see what happens with that. Andy Dalton. Is he as good as Bryce Young? I don't know, but I would say they're kind of the same. Who knows? They might not be able to practice for him, and Andy Dalton looks spectacular. I mean, that's what happened in Andy Dalton's first game when Bryce Young got benched last season. So, who knows? Maybe this is going to be a big win for Carolina, and they go 5-3. And if they go 5-3 and the Panthers win, they might actually be better than most people, than I even think. But either way, Bills, we'll see. But Bills, they need this. They should win this game. Next game, the Jets taking on the Bengals. Like I said with the Dolphins, the Jets are complete garbage. They need to start tanking. It is at this point very difficult to make the playoffs when you have 7 losses. 6 you could probably squeak in. 7, no. Well, 7 you have to be able to beat a lot of really good teams. You have to hope that there's enough people that don't go 11-6 or better. So at this point, there's just no way. If the Jets would have to win out, and there are some teams like if the Jets go 9-8, they might be lucky if they squeak in. But the way they've played, they're not doing that. They need to tank. Meanwhile, you have the Bengals, who all of a sudden with Joe Flacco looks amazing. It looked like Pittsburgh was going to run away with the division. Not anymore. The Bengals with Joe Flacco. Like I even said, I personally don't think Joe Flacco is done. I said at the beginning of the year. Now, I thought that he was going to be fine with the Browns. He wasn't, but he's been traded to the Bengals, and now he has looked better. Maybe he just cannot repeat success with other teams, with the same team. But Jets, they're 0-7. Bengals, they actually have life now. Bengals are going to win, and the Bengals are at home. Give me the Bengals to win this game. Jets go 0-8. The Jets may actually have like 1 or 2 wins this year. Yeah. Next game, 49ers, Texans. This is a really interesting game. And it's crazy because the Texans have a good possibility of going 2-5. And the 49ers, who are continuously getting banged up, are 5-2 and are still winning games. So they're pretty much they're ready to go pretty much. Honestly, the 49ers are the hot hand right now. I think this isn't sustainable. However, they've made it work this long. So honestly, they're one of the hottest teams in my opinion in this league. Heading into week 8, I can't not ride with the hot team. The 49ers, I got the 49ers to win. They've just looked too good. If they lost to the Falcons, maybe Houston might have a shot, but honestly, the way that offense has been playing, it's just not working. That Texans offense, it's done. Give me the 49ers to go 6-2 and win. Next game. Okay. Browns, Patriots. Like I said, Bills have to win this game because Patriots have to win the game against the Panthers because Patriots are running away with the division. The Browns are they're not a really good team, but the Browns are an okay team. However, the Patriots have just looked insane, alright? Patriots win this easily. They're at home. That should be a great game. Vrabel coming off his revenge game against Tennessee. It has worked. The Browns, they're coming off a crazy win against the Dolphins. Both teams coming off a win. However, the Patriots have just been the better team. The Browns, I don't know. Maybe this is the start of something for Cleveland, but I don't think so. Patriots win. I don't have a lot to say about this game. The defense might slow the Patriots offense down, but I ultimately don't think the Browns offense is going to really get the ball moving enough to really compete with the Patriots. Give me the Patriots. Patriots win. Now, the rematch. Giants-Eagles. We're at home. We're not on the road like we were 2 weeks ago on Thursday night. And we just came off beating Carson Wentz, Isaiah Rodgers, and the Vikings. So, we're pretty much ready. The Giants, they just came off a crazy loss that they shouldn't have lost to. They shouldn't have. They had that game pretty much from start to finish until the Broncos started to move the ball. They started to score. Before I know it, Dart threw an interception. And now the Broncos have a 30-26 lead. And even then, despite some questionable calls, because of some questionable calls, the Giants still managed to score a touchdown. And despite all those horrible calls for the Giants, the Broncos still managed to win, and get down and kick a field goal and win. We'll talk about the Broncos against the later, but the Giants have looked. They are a team. That is a team that is going to be playing it close this game. This is going to be a close game. I want Philadelphia to blow out the Giants. I want them to do that. And I think there is a world where they do that, but I don't think Daboll is going to let his team do that. I just don't. I think he's going to look at everyone and say, look, this is not happening. Alright, we are not going to let the Eagles blow us out. We can't let that happen. Alright, even if the Eagles win, which we will win, we should win. If we don't win, we need to start questioning if we're even going to make the playoffs, honestly. But, because that would mean we've gotten swept by the Giants, who allowed 33 points in one quarter. So, not a good look. But, the Giants, I don't think Daboll's going to let the Giants get blown out. So, I think the Giants are going to be close. However, we will still win. We have to win this game. This is mainly for pride. We got beat out on the road on a short week heading into New York. We got beat. We can't let that happen again. We won't let that happen again. But the Giants also will not let us blow them out either. Because the Giants are still a good team. However, the Eagles were just better. Eagles win. That's all I have to say. Buccaneers Saints. Getting into the afternoon games. This is an interesting one. Not really, because Tampa's going to want this one more. Tampa's going to win this game. However, the Saints are going to keep it close. They will, because they've managed to keep the games close every single week. Aside from last week against the Bears, but they still kept it close the majority of the game. Spencer Rattler is beginning to throw interceptions, like bad interceptions. So that's not good if you're the Saints. You're not winning this game even if Spencer Rattler doesn't throw a single interception. The Buccaneers, they need this one more. They just came off a bad loss against Detroit. They need this one. They will get this one. The Saints have looked okay. They've looked decent enough to compete with these teams, but they don't look good enough to win. That's why the Buccaneers will win. The Saints are just not there yet. I want to pick them in certain games, but I just don't see it happening the way... I just don't see the Saints winning enough games. I don't see the Saints winning very many games, despite them playing well enough to win some of these games. So Buccaneers will win. Saints may keep it close, but Buccaneers will win. Now, Cowboys-Broncos. Broncos, 0 points in the first quarter. 0 points in the second quarter. 0 points in the third quarter. And then they managed to score all 33 of their points in the fourth quarter. Giants score 32 throughout all 4 quarters and lose. If you're, like I said, if you're the Giants, I don't know how you let that happen. That is like the most embarrassing, collapse in a game I have ever seen in my lifetime. The Broncos are just way too good right now. The Cowboys, they are an up-and-down team. Do I see a world where Dallas maybe wins the division? Maybe. Do I see a world where Dallas makes the playoffs? Maybe. Because the offense is moving the ball downfield. Dre Greenlaw is going to be suspended for this game. Because of what he did against Brad Allen at the end of the game, which I think was dumb on, honestly, really dumb on Brad Allen's part for even throwing the flag and reporting it. It was just dumb. It was. I didn't agree with it, but that's coming as someone who would like the least ref interference as possible. Personally, I would rather the game be played with honestly no refs, but I know that's not how it's gonna work. I personally don't like a lot of the rules and the way it's set up, the way football is set up, the way the rule system works. Like what is a catch versus what is not, what is a fumble, all that. Like it doesn't even make sense. Banning a bunch of tackling techniques to, like, I'm really not for all that. I would rather the NFL have as little rules as possible. Obviously, we still need to protect the players, but I would rather have it still, like, hip drops, for example, hip drop tackles, I think should be allowed still. Stuff like that. I think roughing the passer, like when he's already out of bounds, is obviously, I would still say personal foul on that. Obviously, helmet-to-helmet contact, those kind of rules. I would say, yeah, keep those, obviously. You can't be going for somebody's head. That, in my opinion, is just dumb, and I agree with those kind of rules. But pretty much every other rule, like taunting, for example, I don't think that should be a foul either. But it does cause a fight. But I don't think it should be a foul. But that's just my little rant on the refs. The Cowboys, that has nothing. That kind of has something to do with the Broncos game. But the Cowboys have looked really good on offense. Defense, that's why they're 3-3-1 right now. So yeah, the Broncos are 5-2. They're just the better team, in my opinion. Dallas, as much as I'm an Eagles fan, I never want to pick Dallas to win a game, but I am realistic. I see a world where Dallas wins this game. However, the Broncos they're just too good right now. I think the Cowboys will definitely keep it close, but I just don't think I don't think they're that ready yet to beat the Broncos, because this could very well be the winner of the NFC West, AFC West this year. So, honestly, I just don't think Dallas is ready for that yet. I have the Broncos winning. Now, Titans, Colts. I've been saying it. I've had the Colts unusually high in a lot of my rankings, especially my power rankings, especially as we got closer to this point. I've had the Colts #1 for the past 2 weeks now. They have not disappointed. They will not disappoint again. 7-1 easily. They have the best record in the league. In my opinion, they're the favorites to win the Super Bowl. I think they are. I think they can at least make the Super Bowl. Maybe the Chiefs come out of the woodwork, which they are, and they're starting to play well again, which is sad. But the Colts, I see, is just the best team in the league. They have the best record, but they've just shown that they're the best team. So, I think they got it. Titans, they're one of the worst teams in the league. And that's why the Colts will easily win this game. Titans, they're not even going to keep this game close. It's going to be a blowout. They're done. Colts win easily. Now, Sunday Night Football. Packers at Steelers. I have the Steelers to win this game. I do. Why do I have the Steelers to win? The Packers are very, very, in my opinion, underwhelming. They are not beating teams the way they should. They should have dominated the Cardinals. They should have played very well against the Cowboys. They should have beaten the Bengals. Like, these are teams that they should have blown out if they were really Super Bowl contenders. If they blew those teams out, Packers are winning this easily. But the Steelers, they're coming off a crazy loss to the Bengals on Thursday night. They are not going to let that happen again. Mike Tomlin is going to want this a lot more. Green Bay, like I said, very underwhelming, and the Steelers have impressed me. And even then, when they were down and out on Thursday, they still were. Aaron Rodgers was still able to wield the offense to take the lead back. And this is a revenge game for Aaron Rodgers, and I think he wants this more than I think than people realize, and that is going to be one of the few games he probably has like 400 passing yards, or maybe even 500. He may even break that. I think he will. I think he's gonna want this against Green Bay, and the Packers. They're winning, but they're not winning like you would think they would with the kind of team they have. The Steelers, they have about the same team, and on top of that, Mike Tomlin is not going to allow the defense to allow 33 points again. So if the offense can get down and score 30, and knowing the Packers have only scored 27 in their wins, and that's it, in their losses they've scored less, it's gonna work. I think the Steelers have a good enough team to win this game, and I think the Packers, this might be a little bit of a wake-up call for Green Bay to say, hey, you need to start working on some things. So, yeah, I'm not saying Green Bay they're not the Super Bowl favorites. They're not, in my opinion, but the Steelers, I think, are going to want this more, and this, I think, is going to be a wake-up call for Green Bay. So, I think both teams need this. I think Thursday was a wake-up call for Pittsburgh, and they're going to wake up and they're going to ball out. So, Steelers win, and Green Bay, they keep it close, obviously. It's going to be a really good game, but I think Steelers are going to win this. Final game. Finally done with the double Monday night games. Honestly, if we were to do double Monday, I'm not against double Monday games, honestly. But at least do it the way we saw last week, where one game plays at 5, the other game plays at 8. I think that's the best. If you want to have two, I'm not against 2 Monday night games, but I'm against 2 Monday night games played simultaneously. I don't like that. I think that's dumb. But, yeah. Finally, we have a singular game. Commanders, Chiefs. This is probably going to be a big blowout. The Commanders, and this pains me. There's a part of me that says, yeah, the Commanders are done, yeah, but the Chiefs, I don't want the Chiefs to come back either. So honestly, I would rather both teams lose. I think that'd be funny if both teams like tie it or something. But if I had to pick who would I rather win, probably the Commanders. The Chiefs, I don't want them to come back. I want them to be like mediocre or not very good. Just because they're a very dangerous team when they enter the playoffs. That's why I just don't want the Chiefs in the playoffs at all. And honestly, if you were to ask me this game a few weeks ago, I probably would have picked the Commanders after the Commanders beat the Chargers and then the Jaguars beat the Chiefs. I'm like, yeah, Commanders probably will win this game. And now that Jane Daniels is out, it's done. That's it. Chiefs are gonna win this game, unfortunately. And yeah, they go 5-3, and Commanders go 3-5. But Chiefs are gonna win this. Chiefs are gonna probably dominate. Unlike Sunday Night Football, this probably will be a blowout. All right. Well, those are my those are my Week 8 predictions for this 2025 NFL season. So if you like this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Trying to get to 400 subscribers by the end of November. We can maybe hit, who knows, maybe we'll hit it by the end of October, but we'll see. We'll see where we're at. We're at like 340, so we'll see. But yeah, see you in the next video, and see you in the next video. I have 2 other YouTube channels, Southwest Gamer and Sportsman. Southwest Gamer is sports, sport gaming. This is sports. Sport gaming, so like Madden, Hoopland, Retro Bowl College, those kind of games, and then Legos Models is Legos. So if you're interested in that, both channel links will be in the description. And see you in the next video.